Street talk, what it is, man. It's your boy back at it again. You know what it is, we're going to touch on a new topic. You know what it is, man. Let's go ahead and get into it. Appreciate y'all for following the channel, y'all listening in. Waiting for y'all to start subscribing. We'll keep on dropping these videos. So, man, I want to touch on the topic today. Traethatruth and Zero. As y'all know, Traethatruth, Zero had a little altercation maybe a few years back, and Traethatruth just recently released an interview with T.I. So that's why we're gonna go ahead and touch on this whole situation. My last channel, I did speak on the situation. But, this is a new channel, so we're gonna go ahead and go back over it one more time. But we got some new shit to talk about anyway, so let's go ahead and touch on it all. So, anyways, me, I'm from Texas, so I'm a big fan of the trae, the Zero, ABN movement. Slab, Gorilla Mob, all that, man. And I came up, seeing Zero on them at the early stages, before Trae was even considered to be a hot rapper in the industry. Traethatruth, Dougie D, Zero, forgot the female name, Sashay or some shit, forgot her name, but she was a part of Gorilla Mob too. I believe her and Trae or her and Zero used to date. I'm not too sure, but something happened where she's no longer a part of the group. That happened a while, like a long time ago. But Sashay or Cliche, I think her name Cliche. Cliche went hard though, you know what I'm saying? She was down there neck to neck with them boys on them records, you know what I'm saying? So if y'all ain't heard of Cliche or heard of Gorilla Mob, man, pull up that Gorilla Mob on YouTube or whatever, go back and listen to some of them records, man. They still fire records in my opinion. Still banging them today on my end. So, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about the Player record that they made, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of different records, man, but y'all go check that out. But, Trae did an interview, you know what I'm saying, with T.I. Sat down with Tip. Tip don't seem like he's really choosing nobody's side over it. I just feel like it's starting to mess up his, what do they call that? Investment, starting to mess up his investment with allowing Trae to come on his platform or use his brand to, help Trae get on his feet and make a name in the industry. So I feel like a lot of doors, like Trae said, a lot of doors was closed due to this situation because Trae, he known to be a hero, you know what I'm saying? He be out there saving niggas from storms and shit, you know what I'm saying? Any problem goes on in Houston or whatever he can do, he help. He on the front line when it was Black Lives Matter, he been doing shit for a long time. Can't take that away from Trae. And a lot of doors was closed because, he showed his street mind, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't staying the business minded Trae. And I feel as if he would have stayed on that path that he was on, a lot of doors would have been open for him still. And you can't, allow your brother to control your mind on how to react in certain situations and fuck up your bag, especially when he ain't got a bag, you know what I'm saying? But, Trae said some shit on that interview, man, that, most definitely nigga wasn't feeling. Like T.I. said, if you want to hold yourself accountable, never use but in your vocabulary, you know what I'm saying? And Trae was using that but a lot and when he was speaking, so that kind of shows on his end that he feels as if he's right in some kind of way on jumping somebody that was so close to him. If your intentions was to squash the beef and let bygones be bygones, nigga. You know what I'm saying? No matter how a nigga come at you or approach you, your mind's supposed to be on a high level. You already approached the man to be the bigger person. So why not continue? You know what I'm saying? If he ain't putting his hands on you, we don't care about no looks, nigga. We grown men. You know what I'm saying? We know getting in the street active, what that shit could lead to. We know that shit could lead to cases, more money being spent, time away from family. So if you really feel as if your life is that important and valuable, you know, there's other ways to go about shit. Never act out of emotions because of a man that's looking at you a certain way, you know. But on my end, I think Trae is most definitely still wrong. I think the interview that he did with T.I. about that topic wasn't really even necessary at this point. I feel like he buried himself even deeper with even trying to come over there and explain himself. You know, you already lied when people asked was Zero jump until the footage came out. Once the footage came out, you wanted to start telling people the truth that basically we could have did him worse, but since he family, we didn't do him that bad. You know what I'm saying? I guess. You know, niggas kicking them all in the face and shit like that. I mean, how worse it can it get? You know what I'm saying? What, you gonna shoot him? You know what I'm saying? That's the only way it can get worse, if you shoot him. But other than that, you know, you put your hands on somebody that, you know, was most definitely important in Texas, somebody that's really respected, and not only in Houston, but all over this bitch, you know what I'm saying? Zero family to everybody, and that would have damaged and hurt people if they would have put them in a critical condition, you know what I'm saying? That would have made a lot of shit change down here, especially for Trae. But, you know, still love, because I'm a Texas nigga. I love my Texas artists. I don't want to be the nigga that pick sides and whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because I'ma still bang Trae music. I'ma still bang Zero. But, you know, the interview that he did most definitely, to me, just didn't help shit. Zero came back with his response on his interview. It makes me laugh because Zero kept saying the whole time that he's saying he ain't watched Trae's interview with T.I. He feels as if there's no purpose of him watching it. But when he was speaking on it, it seems like he did watch it. You know what I'm saying? You know, Zero ain't got a problem saying Trae name in interviews. Trae seems like he doesn't want to speak on Zero name. So when Zero say that Trae did a lot of shit to try to keep him, you know, out the industry, I mean, there's certain things that how Trae moving and how he try to keep Zero name out of certain shit when you do interviews. You know, just call him that guy. You know how niggas be doing that shit in the rap game, like they don't know niggas. Yella Beezy did it to Mo3. You know, these niggas do that shit, which is weird to me. When we seen you in videos with them, you know what I'm saying? You did records with them, all types of shit. Like, you can't say you don't know who the nigga is. That just make you look super lame to me. But, you know, Trae don't want to say Zero name. Zero most definitely ain't got a problem saying Trae name. And, you know, as far as Zero interview goes, you know, Zero just saying, you know, Trae basically still lying. In his opinion, it ain't fix shit. It ain't make him feel better to want to patch things up. When Trae called him over, he was willing to patch things up, but that's what took place. So at this point, he just want to move on, focus on his career like he's been doing, and keep releasing that good music to us, man. I believe at this age that Zero and Trae is at, I mean, that's what's best. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of records, a lot of songs that we remember from Zero and Trae that we gonna always have in our hearts and always play. You know what I'm saying? Always gonna have with us. So if they never do music again, I think that's something that we as fans should respect and move forward. We don't want to see bloodshed. We want to see them both lose their lives, nothing like that. We want to see them both living and see them both grow in this industry and put Texas on the map like it need to be. You know what I'm saying? But I hear what Zero was saying, a few times in the interview. He did the interview in ATL where he was like, he was locked up. He got out of jail. Come to find out, the ABN or the Guerrilla Mob was basically Trae took over the name. Like he, basically just took over the name. I forgot what they called it. But he basically took over the name, got the copyright or whatever for the name of Guerrilla Mob or ABN, because the ATL interview, Zero said he took over ABN and Zero was already representing ABN. Now the new interview that Zero did, he said Trae took over Guerrilla Mob. He copyrighted the name, but because Zero was locked up. If y'all a Zero fan, y'all know Zero was locked up a lot of times throughout his career. The last time when Zero got locked up, when they made that Fodrin Lane or Fudging or whatever it's called, you know what I'm saying? That record that they made before he got locked up, the Guerrilla Mob ABN shit was really getting real big at that time. So if you think Trae, he a businessman, he a business-minded guy. So if it's getting big at that time and you not around, why wouldn't he copyright the information? Why not copyright the group so nobody else can come over and try to take ownership of y'all work? I think that was a smart move on Trae end. Shit was getting real big at the time, so why not let that man look out for both of y'all and copyright the info, on the groups and the records. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he ain't giving you a piece of the pie, you get out of the records, that's a whole nother story. You know what I'm saying? And I can understand the frustration with that. But you do gotta still give it up to Zero once again, if that is the case, for him to come out and feel that way and still go out and get his own bag and just let it be and just say, I ain't gonna fuck with you no more. That's still being the bigger person, especially being the Zero that he was back then. You know what I'm saying? But feel where both of them kind of coming from. Feel a little bit more where Zero coming from, because I watched this shit growing up. I seen that Zero was the nigga of ABN and Guerrilla Mob. You know what I'm saying? If I was ever to go to one of their shows, I wasn't going there to see Trae. I wasn't going there to see Cliche. I wasn't going there to see Dougie D. I'm going there to see Ro. And half the time, I still want to hear the solo Ro records. You know what I'm saying? So I feel where Zero coming from. You know what I'm saying? Like he is the main guy, the main face of anything Trae did at the beginning of both of their careers. Him mentioning Trae was signed before he met Trae. I never heard anything from Trae. I remember my sister, we out here in Austin, so we used to have this thing. We still do have this thing called Jump On It every summer, I believe. And they met Trae and Dougie D back then and took a picture with them when they was real young and shit. So that was my first introduction to Trae and Dougie D. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, shit, Zero was the one that I was more interested in the whole time. But y'all check out the interview with T.I. and Trae. Check out the interviews with Zero if y'all really are on this topic situation. You know what I'm saying? And we just pray for them both. Pray for both of their families. Hope they both can get over this situation. Maybe come back together one day and make a bag. If not, shit, let's just keep the peace in the streets and let your fans enjoy y'all music, and let's not clash. Keep this shit going, because y'all both come from under DJ Screw, and y'all already know the whole mission that he was on was to unite everybody. SUC wasn't going to just be no H-Town thing, in my opinion. I think DJ Screw was on his way to take over, all of Texas, if not the whole South, So, that's my take on this situation. I can get more into it, but we already know the jumping video that we all seen. You know, we don't agree with that shit. As I said on my last video, I don't think that it was cool that he did it at the 50 Cent event when they been around each other plenty of times. You know, niggas do shows and they post their flyers and niggas be knowing where niggas at. You know what I'm saying? So if it's some drama shit, why not take it to a local show that ain't gonna be too many cameras at? You know what I'm saying? But niggas move how they move. I feel like a lot of these rappers, a lot of these entertainers, they gotta to keep that money coming in, especially nowadays, everything's going on streams and views. They gotta keep the fans' attention, you know what I'm saying, to drop records or whatever they gotta do to get the clout. To me, that was a clout move. But like I said, peace to both of them guys, Trae and Zero. You know what I'm saying? What up to Dougie D? What up to Cliche? You know what I'm saying? What up to J-Ton and Boss? You know, the whole Slab family, everybody, man. And y'all boys keep doing y'all thing. Yeah.